Hello everyone, welcome to the Altruistic Mind Podcast number 4. Today, I have with myself Mr. Darryl D Souza, who is a natural health therapist, an organic farmer, TEDx speaker, environmentalist, and the founder of EarthKeepersConnect. Today we are going to talk about health, fitness, nutrition, natural health therapy, and all about Darryl's journey of getting into healing and therapy. So, I welcome Darryl to the podcast. Welcome, Darryl.
Thank you, Sanmitra. A very good morning and welcome to your audience as well. Very glad to be here on this interview.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to host you. If we were to sort of start with the conversation, you back in the day, you were an engineer working on sites. How did this transition take place, where you sort of went into deep research of health and fitness and transitioned into becoming a therapist and a healer? If you can take us through the journey.
Yes, it started somewhere in 1990 actually, and I was in the middle of engineering at that time, industrial engineering in Pune. And till that time in my life, I had never really fallen sick. So I was pretty healthy. And it was during this time that, certain things from the normal they changed, and that was in my second year of engineering, where I was staying with a room partner from we were both from Mumbai, and every year we would shift to another area in Pune just to experience something different. And we shifted from a place called Karve Road a little more inland towards inside towards nature in Navsayadri, where there was a little more greenery
Hmm.
around, so the temperature was cooler. And we actually went there to selected one particular flat, which was the first floor of a renovated home. So there were the main family staying on the ground floor, and they made this new, first floor. And the rent was cheaper because, there was no furniture in the house. So every month we used to get, a standard amount of money and no beds. So then my friend, he had some cousins in Pune. So we went to their house, and just by chance, they had one old mattress which was still usable. So we said, okay, that is for my friend, and they didn't have a second mattress. So I said, okay, let's see what we can do, because then, buying a bed and then buying a mattress also would be somewhere 10,000 plus rupees. So I said, I don't want to put my father through that expense. And I remember I had one sleeping bag, the thin viscose ones which you use when you go for a forest trek. And it was given by my aunt from USA when she visited India. And I had never used it. So I was excited to use it. So I just put some, chatai on the floor, bought some mat and kind of put it on the
Hmm.
floor. And yeah, there was also some old corduroy curtain. So I put that on top of the mat. And then the sleeping bag. And I used to, nighttime, I used to sleep in that. Unfortunately, it
Hmm.
turned out to be that year turned out to be one of Pune's coldest winters, where it went down to 6 degrees. Normally, Pune goes down to 8 or 9, 10 degrees.
Hmm.
And so I didn't realize that, the chill from the earth, got into my body. And after 3, 4 months, I had full-blown pneumonia, coughing blood, could not breathe, and doctor had to come at 10:30 at night. And of course he visited somewhere at 10 o'clock. He saw my condition and told my mother that at that time we had come from Pune, and I was during study leave. I was in Goa. So my family was also taking a vacation in Goa. So, well,
Hmm.
doctor saw my condition and told my mother this boy is not going to survive till the morning, because there's no space in his lungs for air because it's full of cold. And then he went to his hospital, opened it up at 10:15 or something, which was close by. He brought some steroid injections. He pumped me with that, and that's how I survived. And after that, I remember, yeah, there was a course of antibiotics, maybe for 20 days. So that's what I had, and that's how my life got saved. So, point to note was that was the first time in my life that my immunity broke down. And
Okay.
then after that, couple of years later, after we finished engineering, I came with all my engineering friends from, bike. Some were from Bombay and then from Pune. And six of us came here. I brought them to Goa, to my ancestral home. That's where I'm sitting right now. And well, I took them to the jungle because there was a natural spring over there. But what happened is, all in my childhood, whenever we used to come here during vacation and go to that spring, the water would be coming from under the ground, from the mountain, a huge, cave with an inside portion, and the water used to come. And at the back of the cave was the mountain, sloping. But this time I didn't realize, it didn't strike me that it was monsoons. We could coordinate our leave to get leave only in monsoon.
Hmm.
And although I noticed that time the water was not, sparkling like how it does normally. Because once it comes out from mountain, there's about 10 feet through which it flows, and people have put nice stones and all around it. And for those people who know Goa, it's the Saligaon Spring. So, I said, come have this water. It's free of cost and it's very healthy. So none of the five other guys, they dared to do that. They said, no, no, we don't come into the middle of the jungle and just drink flowing water. But I was used to it, that conditioning was there. So I, drank it. I filled a two big bottle, filled up two big bottles. And for the next 2 days, I was drinking that water to show them it's healthy water and nothing
Yeah.
is wrong with it. And before,
Hmm.
finally, I realized that in a day or so, I started having a fever and loose motions. So that turned out to be an infection of amoeba. So I was diagnosed with amoebiasis, and then again that antibiotics treatment. So well, it got cured after a week, and then all of us went back to work, and yeah, because I was working on project sites, mainly in North India, very spicy food and unhealthy water, sometimes drinking from the tap and all of that at dhabas, eating sometimes on site. Because as an industrial engineer, our work was mainly when factories and manufacturing facilities are just getting set up. So yeah, and that constant being out there, eating spicy food, drinking unhealthy water, kept on reinfecting my
Hmm.
digestive system. So I
Hmm.
started getting anal fissures, blood in my stools. After a year or so, first degree piles. After 2 years, second degree piles. After 3 years, third degree piles. And then I was diagnosed with amoebic colitis. So that's when the infection has reached all the way to your large intestine as well. And so loose motions, blood in my stools, then antibiotics again for 1 week. This became the continuous pattern. And I didn't realize that time that taking antibiotics very often, it destroys the healthy gut bacteria. Your microbiome becomes weak. So my
Hmm.
digestion also started becoming this way weak. I started losing weight. Um, and then, of course, during this period, after a couple of 2, 3 years of allopathy, I realized it was not really curing the problem. Then I started trying Ayurveda with some experts in Ayurveda from across the country. So I did
Yeah.
that for 2.5, 3 years also. And then I realized even Ayurveda is not, really curing the problem. Then I went to homeopathy. So I did homeopathy also for 2+ years. A little improvement, but not curing the problems. And all through this time, my condition was getting worse. Like I said, second degree, third degree piles. I had to have an operation at the age of 35,
Hmm.
for third degree piles. So then, then because these things were not getting cured, then I went to healers because I heard of a lot of,
Hmm.
healers, whether it was pranic healing or Reiki, crystal healing. So I used to go to these healers and they used to do their healing
Hmm.
for me. And for that 1, 2 days, I would feel better, but then again, it would be back to square one and getting worse. So then I started having skin allergies all over my body, like mosquito bites that were very itchy. And then itching would not stop. So I had to take allopathic suppressant, allergy suppressant medication. So I always would land up with specialists. That time I was being treated by the Dr. Rui Fernandez in Mumbai. He was the head of the Dermatologist Association of India. So in all of my
Okay.
journey, whether it was with Ayurveda, homeopathy, or allopathy, in 1, 2 years I would reach the top people. Then finally, a research scientist from Bombay Hospital was working on my blood because there were certain toxicities in it, and he was trying all experiments. trying to neutralize it with various combinations of certain medicines. 6 to 8 months, that also completely failed, and I was getting worse. So, so this became so bad that I with those the allopathic medicine, also the skin allergy suppressant. First, it
mm,
started one tablet in 15 days. Then after about 6 months,
mm,
one tablet a week. Then twice a week. Then every day. Then twice a day. And that was making me very
yeah,
drowsy. You see, as that
yeah,
time I was head of department working with teams and technicians in India and overseas.
yeah,
I couldn't manage work, and I
mm,
used to keep on dozing at my desk, and I actually had to leave
mm,
work. And
mm,
yeah, even wearing clothes would be a trouble for me, because like this, I used to, in 2 minutes, I would be, scratching over here, under my arms, uh, just anything touching my body. So my skin had become that sensitive. So I couldn't sit on a
mm,
chair because the underside of my thighs and my butt, that would also itch. After
mm,
eating every meal, my gums would be itching very severely. So I used to put ice in my mouth and stuff like that. My footwear would be, very itchy. So then I realized, I was sitting at home and I used to be in Bermuda shorts. Can't sit on a chair, so I would sit on my bed with a, 8, 10 inch Dunlop mattress. So I became literally like a
mm,
vegetable sitting at home, only able to eat, not do
mm,
any work, not interact in
mm,
society. And then I
yeah,
realized, this life is really not worth it. And how
yeah,
should I end this life? Because I've seen by then it had been, 14 years. This is 2004, from
mm,
1990 to 2004. And
mm,
at that time itself, just to my good luck, my neighbor saw me and they said, you're not interacting, you're not coming down to the building, you're not going to work, what's wrong with you? So I said, yeah, I'm very
mm,
sick. And I told them about this. And they said that, we know one naturopath here only close by, not far from your this house. And I went and met him. He was Mr. Retired textile engineer,
okay,
Ashwin Dalal.
mm,
And so this is 2004 November. And I went and met him, and he was doing some system where, natural herbs and acupressure. Then he showed me the source books and all. It was Health in Your Hands by Dr. Devendra Vora, Volume 1,
okay,
Volume 2. He was very thoroughly personally trained also under Dr. Devendra Vora. So he said, I'm going to treat you with this system. So he kind of,
mm,
spent 1 hour checking all points on my hand, acupressure diagnostic points. And well,
mm,
your stomach is weak, your liver is weak, your kidney is weak, your intestines are weak. And
mm,
he said, you're a pretty complicated case. But if
mm,
you do what I will teach you, you will get cured
mm,
of all of these problems, even though you don't know all the names of the conditions you have. So I was pretty surprised that he's making such a big claim after I'd been to the top people in, different systems of medicine. And then I remember even after doing the, when I was doing in Reiki, then one of the senior teachers told me that, it's a karmic thing, that nobody can heal you, you have to heal yourself. So in the year 2000, I got
mm,
initiated in Reiki, first degree Reiki, and I used to practice all of that. So 32 hand
mm,
positions, 3 minutes, I think each time hand position, it would take me 1.5 hours. So before going to work, and then
mm,
after coming from work in the evening also. So literally 3 hours per day, I would do Reiki healing for myself. And even that, I was so shocked,
mm,
was not helping. Then after that, I went to,
okay,
finally, when nothing works, you think of God. So I used to do a lot of prayers and special prayers at Mahim called novenas. And after that, also 6 months, I came to the conclusion that, even God has deserted me. Modern medicine and everything, and even alternative medicine is not helping. God is also this. So that's how I came to that, situation where I don't think, I should end this life. But this wonderful, opportunity came along. And Mr. Dalal told me, when that first day itself, the second hour was of his thing was he was teaching me which acupressure points to press and which natural herbs to have. So neem, tulsi, bael, this triphala or that harde,
mm,
hartika churna,
yeah,
tea leaves. So these were things that were available even at the, banya, uh, at the spice store. So they were all natural home remedies and powders. So I started following all of that.
mm,
doing half an hour of acupressure in the morning, uh, or 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the evening.
Yeah.
And I was pretty shocked that on the fourth day, evening time, my body was not feeling so itchy. So I didn't take that tablet, which was called Atarax for the skin allergy. And the next morning, again, my body was feeling itchy. So I took the morning dose. Then in a week's time, morning itself, I was not feeling itchy. I didn't take the morning dose. I didn't take the evening dose. And then the next morning dose I took. So like this, my condition started getting better and that medication started going down. And within 6 months, that medication stopped completely. So that was
Mm.
somewhere near, May of April of 2005.
Mm.
So that is the first time realized, that, oh, I'm getting my life back. I can live now. I can go back to work. So I went back to work. And
Okay.
then my health started improving quite a lot.
Mm.
But still, certain digestive issues were continuing. Uh,
Mm.
for an example, when I used to drink milk, after 1 2 days, I would
Okay.
get blood in my stools and lose motions again.
Mm.
So I was wondering, when a newborn
Okay.
baby can digest milk, why
Mm.
can't I digest milk as a grown
Mm.
up? That time I didn't know the deeper science. Okay, that
Mm.
the human body
Yeah.
stops producing lactase and renin by the age of 4 or 5 years, which are the digestive enzymes
Mm.
that digest milk. After that, we are not supposed to
Yeah.
have milk. Only we don't know that. All
Mm.
other species on the planet, they don't have their own mother's milk after the age of 3. So,
Mm.
so I went a little more into this food aspect of it. I started speaking to some nutritionists,
Yeah.
and because I wanted to do a course in nutrition, you know, but I said first let me talk to these nutritionists and see what they are saying, and if I follow their diets, am I getting better? If I'm not getting better, that means that whole nutrition model that they have studied is useless. So I met like that 3 4 nutritionists over a
Mm.
year and all that, and I started trying out their things, and little improvement, not
Mm.
much improvement. So then I realized that and they were saying conflicting things, you see. So I said, what is the truth in nutrition? Then I started studying laws of
Mm.
nature. And then through my own research, I realized that human beings, we are designed to mainly eat, produce of plants and not this milk and
Yeah.
meat products and whatnot. When I went into that nutritional model and started doing
Mm.
that, then my health started getting completely fine. And in 1 year, then by end of 2005, I was completely healthy and doing fine, never needing any medicines, not falling sick at all. And so from that time onwards, I formulated this system of what I call integrative natural medicine, where I used
Yeah.
diet and nutrition as the first aspect, then acupressure for
Yeah.
diagnosing which organs are weak and for healing them. Then I started
Yeah.
using natural organ detoxes, like how to clean your stomach,
Yeah.
your intestines, your colon, how to detoxify your liver, gallbladder, stomach. So they're all natural cleanses for this. Uh, one, two of them were in that book, this Health in Your Hands. Then others I had researched from other, books and studies across the world. So I put these together, and then how to use herbs for healing, even as herbal teas, even as very simple herbs, not these Ayurvedic formulations. So,
Mm.
so I put these together, and then I started treating people with this because I realized, and first because I
Mm.
went back to work, I said, I had time only on the weekends because around me people were falling sick. Servant is falling sick, cousin is falling sick, aunt is falling, neighbors having this problem, high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, all of these chronic
Mm.
illnesses. So
Mm.
I said I should, now, what happened is during my process of treatment under Mr. Ashwin Dalal, after my skin allergies went off in the first 6 months, I said, this is an amazing system. It beats all the known systems of medicine, popular systems. So I want to learn it. And so he said, okay, then you can come for sessions at my place. So twice a week or something, and definitely on the weekends, I used to go for 3 hour sessions. And he would be teaching
Mm.
me from these different 2 books. First volume was the common illnesses everybody had. Then volume 2 were the advanced illnesses,
Yeah.
leukemia, muscular dystrophy, cancer, all of that.
Mm.
So yeah, over a period of 6 months, I completed all of that. And
Yeah.
then he told me, if you want to treat people, first 5 cases you have to bring here in front of
Okay.
me. You have to do the
Okay.
diagnosis. You have to suggest the treatment. Then I will watch and see whether you have learned everything properly. So my first
Mm.
few cases I took over there, and then he said that,
Mm.
okay, you are doing pretty well, it's pretty good. And then he said, at least from his
Mm.
side, it's not like some certificate or something. He said, my conscience
Yeah.
tells me that I can tell you, yes, you can go ahead and treat people with the help of these two
Mm.
books and whatever you have learned. So that's how I
Mm.
started treating people on the weekend. And I used to get very
Mm.
serious cases, okay, because the people who would come to me would be the
Yeah.
people who had tried all these things before. Nobody's going to come
Mm.
to an unknown person just because they heard that, he saved his life by doing all of this. First, they will try allopathy first. Then, depending on the family's, experience, they will either go for Ayurveda or homeopathy. So if they go for homeopathy first, it
Mm.
doesn't work, then they'll try Ayurveda later. That doesn't work, then they'll go for, pranic healing, Reiki and all of that, and prayers, and whatever else they can. When nothing works
Yeah.
in the world, when it's
Mm.
serious, very serious, and they realize they are going to
Mm.
die, in a short time, then they would reach me.
Yeah.
So I would get cases which doctors had found impossible to cure. Those are the basic cases to
Mm.
get. So it required a lot of, but these, integrative natural medicine, that was the real system
Yeah.
that works. So I kept on treating people like this. And from 2005 to 2010, I used to work as an associate
Mm.
consultant also. I gave up full-time working. So there would be periods in between for 2, 3 months, I would be free, then I would take more cases. And then I got a really good
Mm.
experience with this. And then in 2011, starting of 2011, uh,
Mm.
and also, come to my ancestral home in Goa to follow a more natural life. I came here, and in this home where I'm sitting now, that's where I have, written the book. It took me a whole 1 year's time. So by the end of 2011, I released it. I made a website for it,
Oh.
becomehealthyorextinct.com,
Mm.
and I put it there as a free PDF, download. Because
Mm.
by that time, I had understood a very simple formula that sickness is
Mm.
the result of the lack of right information on health.
Mm.
Like somebody will
Yeah.
say, Swaraj is my birthright. Somebody will say, I have the right to breathe the air. So I say that
Mm.
everybody has a right to have the right knowledge on health,
Mm.
which is
Mm.
missing in the world today. It's not given because many big organizations like the pharma lobby and all, they would not like to give you this
Mm.
information. They would want you to fall sick. And when you're sick, only then their business starts. Otherwise, they don't exist if you can't fall sick.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and from then, after I released the book, then I started doing workshops, full day disease reversal workshops.
Mm.
I started traveling the
Mm.
country in about 15 cities like, Mumbai, Pune, Goa, Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, Madras, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad.
Yeah.
I started doing workshops there. They
Mm.
were attended by patients,
Mm.
by doctors also, healers also, therapists, and all of that. And that's how my work became more
Mm.
professional and, public. And then somewhere in
Mm.
2015, people used to ask me, in your book, you've written about organic, eat organic, seasonal, local, whole foods. But even in a place like Goa, when people used to come for my workshops here, they say, where's the organic food? Even our farmers here, they are putting urea in the soil.
Yeah.
They're using cow dung and all, but still they're putting urea also. So then I started,
Yeah.
I became an organic farmer in 2015, started doing no-till farming, natural farming,
Mm.
multi-cropping, multi-layered farming. So set a good example.
Mm.
And over just quarter acre of land, I was growing about 60 to 65, fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, peas, roots, grains, all of that. And then that time,
Oh.
2015, I also started Goa's first organic market called the Earthkeepers Market.
Oh.
And it was not only,
Mm.
about natural, fresh, seasonal food, also natural body products, natural home products, that is natural, bioenzymes, natural home cleaners, even khadi ware, even earthenware for cooking, wooden toothbrushes, wooden combs, that coconut coir scrubber, all of that. So it was a natural lifestyle market. Somewhere in the middle of COVID, we had to shut it down. But now it's running in Pune at Koregaon Park every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we look forward to, restarting it with our Earthkeepers Goa team here. So our Earthkeepers Pune team is running that market. So yeah, after you get into organic farming, then you start working with the soil and you're looking at the quality of water and the source of water. Then you're worried about the sunlight and direction and what is the purity of sunlight there. So that's how I became, finally an environmentalist as well. Worried about the soil quality, the sunlight, air, water, and living spaces also, which is connected to health. Living more in the cities, too much of electromagnetic fields. Living more in the countryside is less of that, so you have better health. And so that has been my journey, right from health to food to farming to environment. And then finally, since 2019, I'm the convener of the New Earth Summit, India's first integrative summit on solutions to our problems in health, food, farming, and environment. It happens every year, and the recordings are all there. Experts from India and sometimes other countries also, present their solutions which they have implemented. Yeah, and that's how also to at the same time when we found Earthkeepers Connect, and I put up that website, and all of my friends and collaborators across the country, across these cities, they became members, and we made WhatsApp groups and all of that. So that's what's running now as a network called Earthkeepers Connect. .org is our website. So that's what I'm involved with now. And the currently we are implementing a project called Making New Earth, which is we got a website also on that name, makingnewearth.org. I would like everybody to visit it because it gives the details of how all our health problems and environmental problems are there in the world. What went wrong in the last 700, 800 years. And the second half of the video is giving the solutions on how to solve all these problems. And the main thing is that why I'm asking people to watch it, because people have participated, unfortunately, in creating all the problems. So it's only through people's participation that, these we can undo those problems, replace destructive, damaging technologies with regenerative sciences and non-damaging and more green sciences, local for local circular abundance. So that's what we are involved with now.
So, like this overall transformation that you went through, learning about different healing modalities and stuff, like you must have realized the importance of understanding the metaphysics of the human body as well, apart from all the physical treatments and parameters that are taken into consideration. Like, can you brief about that? Like, what is this metaphysics that normally people don't understand about the human body?
Yes, so it's mainly, when I got into doing work publicly since 2012.
Hmm.
And then in my programs, of course, I would have patients coming, the day-long workshops. I would have
Yeah.
healers also come in, even
Yeah.
doctors come in
Hmm.
to understand more about natural medicine and integrative natural medicine.
Yeah.
So I started meeting with such people and then being part of some programs or some conference. Then in 2013 starting, I was invited to be the secretary of the World United Doctors and Healers Association, which
Hmm.
I took up for 5 years. And every year we would do the continued medico spiritual education festival. So
Yeah.
annual conference, which was a
Hmm.
platform where doctors, healers, and therapists would work together
Yeah.
to integrate all of this, allopathy with homeopathy, Ayurveda, naturopathy, and ancient healing sciences and energy
Hmm.
medicine like
Hmm.
pranic healing, Reiki, and also crystal healing, psychic healing,
Hmm.
and then also methods of divination like tarot cards and other, you have certain crystals and shells and all of that, runes, what they call.
Hmm.
So, so this dimension started opening up, and that's when I gave a talk at the Second World Parliament on spirituality
Oh,
of
that's interesting.
balancing mind, body, and spirit development.
Hmm.
So what I would see that in even in some of our therapists and healers, some
Hmm.
of them would be, too much inclined on the spiritual side.
Yeah.
And some of the therapists who are experts in like neuro-linguistic programming and
Hmm.
hypnotherapy, Silva method of mind control, okay,
Hmm.
they would be more in the mental space that everything is mind, everything is thoughts, everything is subconscious and patterns and transactional analysis and all of that.
Hmm.
And then I would see some of the people who are more on the physical side, a lot of focus in diet, nutrition, exercise, physical
Yeah.
appearance, and all of that. And
Hmm.
sometimes they would be missing the spiritual aspect of it.
Hmm.
So that when I started doing these meetups, even if with our doctors, healers, and therapists, I said that each one of us has to have that balance. No doubt, the mainstream in which we are experts in for 10, 15, 20 years. Uh,
Hmm.
we should not be making incorrect statements like diabetes is because of past life problems, or diabetes
Oh.
is because of too much of sweetness in your life. Okay,
Uh,
how can anybody who has a lot of sweetness in their life, that's a good thing, why will you fall sick from it? Right?
hmm.
So then I used to invite such people to our diabetes reversal workshops
Yeah.
and teach them how people are reversing in their diabetes within 15 days, mainly on
Hmm.
diet,
Hmm.
without changing their mindset and that sweetness or doing any past life regression therapy or anything.
Hmm.
So then more reality started coming out.
Hmm.
So for me, that's very important that when sickness happens also, it can happen from any three of these dimensions.
Yeah.
So who is the person who can, really diagnose
Hmm.
the right thing?
Hmm.
And that's why this whole my efforts towards integrative natural medicine.
Hmm.
And I was talking about a diagnosis of mind, body, spirit, and
Yeah.
healing of mind, body, spirit. So there must be a panel of doctors, and this is
Hmm.
the integrated medicine model that I presented at the BRICS Nation Summit on the future of healthcare in
Okay.
2021. And it
Okay.
was judged one of the best presentations.
Hmm.
And of course, we were doing that body of work since 2007 in India, we
Hmm.
meaning in the holistic community.
Yeah.
So it started first in 2007. I was not involved at the time. It was called New Age Doctors Association.
Hmm.
So some, pioneers like Brahma Rishi Patriji was part of it, Dr. Newton
Okay.
Kondaveti, Dr. Yugandhar Golapalli, Sanyogi
Hmm.
Uma Shankar,
Hmm.
and then I got involved in the movement from 2012 onwards.
Okay.
So I showcased India's 17 years of integrative mind, body, spirit medicine at the BRICS
Hmm.
Nation Summit.
Hmm.
And so, so that's what we do now because any single person, there are few people who have that much depth
Yeah.
of experience in mind, body, and spirit. Very few people like that. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's why you don't get them in every village, every city, every state. So we
Hmm.
made this panel and team. So that means there's a team. When patients come, they do the diagnosis and then they sit together and they do the treatment protocols also.
Hmm.
And they fill up their individual data sheets. So there's a MBBS doctor who's also part of it because they know what are the modern tests to be done, whether you need MRI scan, CT scan, or sonography or blood tests and all of that. And then that's mainly for diagnostics. We use allopathy in that integrated model. But
Yeah.
for healing and disease reversal, we use a lot of the natural systems of healing. Whether
Okay.
it's, Ayush also, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, Suarikpa, and then energy medicine, Reiki, all of that. Global
Hmm.
systems we use. So
Hmm.
now we have about, in our model, we have about 50 healing
Yeah.
systems of the world.
Hmm.
And Ayush is just six of those. Then there are, you can imagine, another 54. So it's
Yeah.
become a global standard now of,
Hmm.
integrated medicine model.
Hmm.
And at every wellness center, they can choose between the
Hmm.
mind, body, and spirit therapy, for
Hmm.
diagnosis and healing. So teams can be different. At one place, you will use a yoga therapist, okay, who knows Nadi Pariksha and
Yeah.
all that for diagnosis. At another place, you may
Hmm.
not have a person adept in yoga, but they may do acupressure diagnosis and healing. So then there is Marma therapy also. So these are three different options of physical therapy and natural, which does diagnosis and healing also. So like that, the model is pretty flexible. And you have to see that you have people who can do mind, body, spirit diagnosis and mind, body, spirit healing as a team. So this is the model that we are,
Hmm.
promoting.
Okay. So you talked about the sort of factors for illnesses, right? There are three dimensions to it, like the mind, body, and spirit. So are there any more specific categories within these three that you have identified? Like
Yes,
if
now,
we
of
talk,
course, within mind, body, spirit, and all, there are so many aspects within mind itself which can cause, sickness. There are a
mm,
lot of fears, phobias in this lifetime. There can be
mm,
severe trauma from previous lifetimes also. There can be,
mm,
trauma during your childhood. There could be societal conditioning. There could
mm,
be certain belief systems which are making people behave fanatically in a religion or as a cult. So these are all the
mm,
mental disturbances that, people have. And so there can be
mm,
different areas in trauma of mind. Similarly, for the
mm,
body
mm,
also, you can have, toxicity. One thing I say about the body, you know,
mm,
that human body, and of course, the bodies of other animals and, even ant and earthworm, whatever you say.
mm,
I explained this is the first lecture in any of my, workshops,
mm,
that healing is an automatic process. It is going on every second in the body.
mm,
Okay. You get a cut on your hand. What happens? Blood and blood plasma flows out. The
mm.
dry ambient air will reach it. It will dry. A scab will form. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Healing is automatic.
Mm,
Okay. That's how all these species who are alive till now, they have survived all injury and trauma.
mm,
So, if you are not in a healed state, the
mm,
first question you should be asking is, what are the obstacles that I have put in between the
mm,
process of healing to stop it, right? So, in this, for the on the
mm,
physical aspect of the human body, you could be eating first, I say, food not meant for human beings. That's the top category. Then,
mm,
even once you start eating food meant for human beings, it could be too much processed, it could be, refined, it could have too much of synthetic preservatives and, stabilizers and all of that.
yeah.
It could be, yeah, also having now in food, yeah, there are certain cooking methods which destroy nutrition, certain food combinations that are not good. So you
Mm,
could have a toxicity coming in from food. You could have toxicity coming into the body from, you know, body products which have got synthetic ingredients in them.
mm,
Then you could have toxic chemicals you're using in the house in the form of washing powder and, dishwashing liquids and all of that, and sanitizers for your house.
yeah.
And so then besides that, you could have, environmental toxins from what you're breathing around
Mm,
your place. So there can be, toxic. Then finally, in the environment, you could have toxic environment, meaning too much of Wi-Fi that is
mm,
there around the place now, which is not what I call harmonic energies.
mm,
In my book, there is a chapter called Metaphysics of the Human Body,
yeah.
which I'm explaining the different, energy centers of the body. Normally we call as, seven chakras. So
Mm,
there I have explained in detail what each energy center, how is a chakra formed. There are four components that make the chakra.
mm,
And one of them is a plexus. Like for example, we got behind the eyes, and here we got the carotid plexus. Then
mm,
here, we got the uh, what we call vocal throat is solar plexus. Of course, it's lower. Then
mm,
and so each one of these chakras, they have got a plexus. Then they also have what is called a endocrine gland that is
yeah.
next to it. And
Mm,
then so endocrine glands can be your adrenal glands, for example, or your
mm,
thymus over here. Uh,
mm,
now, then the third component is what we call biocurrent. That is the prana that is flowing at that junction. And the
mm,
fourth component is a node of what I call the astral body that is within
mm,
you, which has
yeah.
got a lot of the formulas, energy, and time sequence of how the human body and the energy body grows. And
Yeah.
when the chakras mature, go into maturity, which
Mm,
is a 7-7 year cycle for each of those energy centers, which I've explained in the book.
okay.
So once you know that these energy centers are made of all these four components, then you know
Mm,
that energy, that chakra or that emotional center or energy
mm,
center will get weakened if there
mm,
is a damage to the plexus, if the
mm,
endocrine glands, they are not secreting properly. And of
mm,
course, if you have toxic emotions, they will secrete natural this hormones, but which are, stressful, like cortisol. So,
Yeah.
so as these, if the organs are healthy and your emotions and these four components are healthy and your
Mm,
emotions are healthy, then what you
mm,
have is healthy energy coming out of these energy centers.
mm.
And they are what we all know generally as the whip gear colors.
Yeah.
So I've given the frequencies of light and sound at each of these energy centers in my book,
Mm,
and that's what I call harmonic energy.
yeah.
And then when you have this EMF, they are very different frequencies. So there's literally a
Mm,
fight between your energy center, your body trying to manage these seven energy centers because they radiate outside, and then this
mm,
EMF that is hitting you in. So more and more EMF that we increase, the body has to prepare its defense and put out a stronger field to repel that. So
mm.
it makes you a little more tired than you should be. It
Yeah.
makes you eat more physical food. If you have to put out more energy, you have to eat more physical food and be in a better state
Yeah.
of mental well-being.
Mm,
So the environment is also a toxicity that comes on the human body.
mm,
So like this, yeah, we have things in the physical dimension through our food, through our body products and all of that. And then
mm,
we have from the environment, and then our own energy within our body. If it's toxic, then we
mm,
are generating toxic energy within our own cells. So that's why that part
mm,
of therapy, resolving relationship problems, stress, anger, fear,
mm,
all of that
mm.
comes in as well.
So, talking about the chakra system and everything, so in your research, have you sort of gone into like the sort of mental or psychological patterns related with each chakra and how they cause certain illnesses?
Yes, yes. I've gone into that as well and discussed with so many of our therapists, and they've
Mm,
also got insights into the entire connection.
mm,
So, in my book also, I've given, I think, one of these examples regarding, the lung function.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it happens that now disease, like I said, could come in any way, either from mind, body, or spirit, from the energy dimension also. So, a
Mm,
person for any trigger of fear, who has certain incidents happen in their life, uh,
yeah.
where they feel, they have a relationship that is broken up, they lose a lover or a friend, then the
Mm,
energy here in the heart center, it goes down.
mm,
And during the
mm,
relationship, some people who go through severe trauma, they feel pain over here, in the heart and the lungs.
yeah.
So physical pain also does happen. And then after that hurt, it's an intense period. Then if it, some people heal in that intense trauma within 10-15 days. Some people it doesn't take, few months. And some
Mm,
people don't get over it also.
mm,
It goes on for 1 year, 2 years. So if the trauma was really deep. So during that
mm,
time, the entire energy is changed. They feel very sad. They feel low. They feel that nobody else can replace that, you know, uh, relationship that is broken. And
mm,
of course, everybody's journey is unique and is justified according to what they feel.
yeah.
But if this trauma goes for a longer time, then there's weakness in the heart chakra, the Anahat chakra. So
Mm,
the energy, because of your emotions, what has happened? Because of your emotions, the
mm,
right hormones are not getting fired from the thymus.
mm,
And that brings down heart health, lung function also. And over a period of time, this person, at sometimes they may feel breathless. They may
mm,
get more cough and cold. Their
mm,
pulse rate may go higher. Why does pulse rate go higher? Because uh, suppose you're sitting, there's a certain amount of oxygen that has to be supplied to every cell of your body to do, let's say, what
yeah.
I'm doing right now. Okay.
Mm,
And if your lung function is low, that means the oxygen exchange between the blood that's going into the lungs and your alveoli is lesser. Then every
mm,
drop of blood has got little lesser oxygen.
yeah.
That means now the heart has to pump more blood to keep me talking and moving my hands. So then the pulse rate will go up
Mm,
from 65 to 70, from 70 to 75. Okay. So this
mm,
is like an example what I've given you of an emotional trigger, a certain situation, which starts working on the mind and the
yeah.
heart chakra. And then that is signaling slightly different secretions of hormones, and that is causing weakness of the physical organ. Because when the hormones are secreted every second, they go directly into the bloodstream. That bloodstream is supplying that blood to those organs. Those organs are getting lower function.
Mhm.
So similarly, you can have an opposite cycle also, where
Mm.
somebody is having, too much of alcohol, like alcoholics. So for many years of
Yeah.
physical abuse, whether it's, you get mouth cancer from chewing that tobacco and tuna and all of that. So you could
Mm.
get from alcohol, you could get cirrhosis of the liver. And
Mm.
then once the liver function goes down, the same chakra will get weakened. Then that
Yeah.
person, out of physical abuse, then the center gets weak, then the emotions change. People feel weak, they feel they're closer to death, they feel that there's no point in living life. They get very inverted, they become quiet. They're not happy
Yeah.
when they meet people. It's always a comparative. That person is smiling and joking, and I'm, down in life and I'm depressed. So physical activity
Mm.
can also work with your energy centers, misfire your hormones, change your mental state. And if you take a aura
Mm.
scan of this person, you'll see the energy system also damaged, you know.
Mm.
So the nice
Yeah.
bright colors of the heart chakra will be not be, pink and red, pink or green. It'll be little murky
Mm.
colors.
Yeah.
So this, is what happens from energy, mind to physical disease, or from wrong foods, or
Mm.
from alcohol and substance abuse, from physical dimension to mental and spiritual illness.
Yeah. So whatever I understood from you is that chronic emotional and mental pain can transform into physical ailments.
Right. So it's, yeah, when it's a long term, right? So then it keeps on, that energy keeps on getting into your cellular memories. And from there, the
Yeah.
physical bodies also starts getting sick. You get muscle stiffness. You get, first the level is
Mm.
of, inflammation. Then there is
Mm.
ulceration is the higher degree. Next is tumor. Next
Mhm.
is cancer. So chronic means a
Yeah.
long term, continuous hitting of some negative energy. So like this, a person who had a broken
Yeah.
relationship, they'll take that feeling for the whole 1 year. So that's a chronic, negative imprint, or energy that's hitting
Mm.
the cells
Mm.
of the body.
Mm.
So similarly, like that, with every new 3G, 4G, 5G that goes up, we are creating
Mm.
more and more assault on the human body. And this is known also it for those people, and I have been talking in depth about this. For who understand the deeper science, to
Mm.
understand this deep science, you should have that much depth in electromagnetics, and
Yeah.
and that much depth in cellular biology. Now, just for me, like when I was
Mm.
young, even before my engineering, I was like a mad scientist in my younger days.
Mm.
And right from the, I was 12 years old and I made my first small electrical motor. So I know about
Wow.
current, magnetic field, core, armature, and all of that, since I was 12 years old. That was 1982. So
Mm.
so then when I came to understand what's happening with COVID and other things like that, it's the
Yeah.
it's we know one thing, some basic science at least we know, that is when there is
Mm.
seasonal change,
Yeah.
we get flu. So,
Mm.
so I worked out those equations. It is that, our energy system is got a certain protective layer of its own. And when the external environment changes, suddenly within 3, 4 days. So external environment changes, it means our environment has to respond to that change. This is
Yeah.
science. So it's like
Mm.
that environment has changed. It has brought some pressure on your body. Now you're going to collapse if your body doesn't reply with a alternate field. And when it
Mm.
applies with that alternate field, so when monsoons come, the temperature is changing, the humidity is changing, the ionization in the air is changing. So
Yeah.
delta change in the environment demands a delta change response from every human body in that environment. So when that happens, body
Yeah.
is an emergency, and it will cut off your taste and smell and all from your existing cells, from your body, from your energy. It's an emergency to rebalance itself. And in that rebalance, you get a
Mm.
flu. Okay, so you lose taste and smell, you'll get body pain, you'll get a little bit flu. That's all a rebalancing mechanism. And when your body rebalances,
Mm.
then your flu is gone. That's why we remember,
Yeah.
even parents remember us going to the medical
Yeah.
doctor and say, Doctor, I've
Hmm.
got, I've got the viral flu and give me some medicine for it. And the doctor would tell us,
Hmm.
some of the very senior doctors, if you don't do anything, you'll be okay in 5 days.
Hmm.
If I give you some
Yeah.
antibiotic, it'll take you 7 days. So from that time
Hmm.
itself, we know that, hey, these antibiotics are not killing any so-called virus or something. It's not like a germ thing. It's a seasonal thing. So similarly,
Hmm.
now people are slowly understanding, with all
Hmm.
these EMF changes and with 5G coming in and all, so people are getting these flus, you know. So it's
Hmm.
mainly that you have to reduce the toxic load on your body. You have to eat healthier. You have to be in better emotional states. You have to do simple things that I've written in my book, like grounding. These are all natural
Yeah.
things. All species in nature, they are walking bare
Hmm.
feet. Some people tell me that,
Yeah.
oh, look at the bird, it is sitting on the tree. Where does it get grounding? I said, take a multimeter.
Hmm.
Go and put one wire, copper wire, at the root of the tree, and then 10 feet on top, you put another wire. You'll see there's electrical current running over there.
Hmm.
Okay. And it's
Hmm.
through that conductivity that the bird gets grounding and negative ions go into the feet of the bird.
Hmm.
So we are missing these things. That is natural water from the brooks and streams and wells. And then we are not getting grounding. We are not getting proper sunlight. In the city, Bombay city, you're not getting sunlight. You are getting the sunlight that is trying to reach your body. And in between, it is
Yeah.
blocking all the pollution gases and also what you're getting is some altered sunlight, right? So lesser
Hmm.
sunlight. So lesser earth element in the
Yeah.
city, lesser water, lesser fire element, space element has got all this EMF and all that. And then, air, of course, is polluted. So city environment is designed for sickness and shorter lifespan. People say they're having a great life, but you have a great life, but you have a shorter life. And, and an unnatural life. So that's why I moved from Mumbai city to this, to have a more natural life,
Hmm.
to have a longer life, healthier life. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. So in your book, the Become Healthy or your total, understanding of the human body, considering the physical, metaphysical, everything, and different types of healing modalities. So one chapter there was about lifestyle diseases, right? On lifestyle diseases that currently are manifesting. So, how do you think that the overall media and the food sector and the pharma, like, how are they sort of playing a role in shaping our lifestyles?
So now see, when a common man says the word medicine, in our mind,
Hmm.
we think that it is something that is going to fix our problem, right?
Hmm.
It is going to cure us. But if you actually go and Google it up, they also call
Hmm.
medicine as something that takes away your symptoms.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's what allopathy does. It's all petrochemical based, synthetic, I don't even call them medicines, they are substances. But they only suppress your symptoms. They do not take away your, they do not reverse your high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's why our focus is more towards disease prevention and disease reversal. Now,
Yeah.
even somebody who is, some patients and even senior guys here in Goa, when I was doing the diabetes reversal program here,
Hmm.
they said, no, no, I don't need to attend the program. My diabetes is under control. I said, what is it? They're saying, yeah, it's our sugars. If I don't do anything, it's like, 170 and all of that. And then I take this, insulin leaf. Somebody's taking insulin leaf. Somebody's taking, what they call periwinkle leaf. That's a local shrub here in Goa.
Yeah.
They said, I have this, every day, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, and all of that.
Hmm.
So I said, you have to understand from chemical medicine, you became a little smart and now you're living on natural medicine. The real thing is to be not live on medicine, to live a natural life. Okay,
Yeah.
that is a healthy body.
Hmm.
So don't be so proud that you just come to natural medicine. You have to end that natural medicine also.
Hmm.
So yeah, so this is, that domain where people also kind of, missing the point. Uh, Now, a lot of people are into supplements in the city.
Yeah.
And so the reason for supplements are existing food not having enough nutrition is our wrong
Mm.
farming practices. And
Mm.
then, of course, commercial farming is having a lot of toxic things in the soil. So those
Mm.
toxic things also coming into your body. So your body
Mm.
performance is going to go down.
Mm.
So then I work on the real problems that are all over the world and is a
Yeah.
systemic problem. But
Yeah.
here, people think they're doing something great by launching a company of new range of supplements, cheaper, this, that.
Mm.
So our health is now become a business for everybody else. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what I don't like so much. Because now, if we are calling ourselves, evolving people, if we say we are responsible for our future and we are responsible for the planet, then
Mm.
we should be actually correcting the systemic problems.
Mm.
Even the agriculture department of any state in this country and other countries also, what
Mm.
they teach is this NPK, the main high this percentage minerals that are there in the soil.
Mm.
That many of their fertilizers will keep on putting that back in the soil. But then what about the trace elements? What about the 75 other minerals? From where are
Mm.
they going to come?
Mm.
And the plants are not growing well. Just an
Mm.
example, in my own farm here in a certain patch of land. Uh, it was never farmed earlier, and always there were grasses on it. Okay. So
Yeah.
grass roots go how much into the soil? Just about maximum, 4, 5 inches. Okay,
Mm.
6 inches, not more than that.
Mm.
So that means the nutrients from that soil below 6 inches were never taken out.
Yeah.
So then my neighboring farmer, he brought me these, okra, bendi,
Mm.
organic seeds.
Mm.
And I said, I went and saw his crop and all, it was fine. They were maturing and they became about 6 feet tall. Okay.
Mm.
Then his same seeds I put in my soil.
Mm.
And in the first year, the first season that those plants came up, they grew to 12 feet.
Mm.
The guy was shocked. He came. I called some couple of friends, and also I've got those pictures on Facebook as well to keep them
Yeah.
as memories. And I give the story over there of this
Mm.
that they grew to be 12 feet. He said, "What have you done?" I said, "No, I just put normal, not chemical fertilizer, nothing else. Little bit cow dung from here and there, and composting. Besides that, nothing." So then, so that season we harvested all of that. And then I continued with the same, normal this. In the next season, they were 9 feet tall. And in the next season, in 4 seasons, they became 6 feet. That means those trace elements which a Bendi needed, they were taken out from the soil and they were not returned back to the soil. Okay.
Mm.
So this is what is happening with the wrong farming practices.
Mm.
We are less and lesser nutrients are coming in our food supply chain in our food.
Mm.
And so that is the real problem. We have to get those other minerals also. So now then permaculture, there are new techniques and all which we are using, natural methods of farming,
Mm.
no-till farming and all of that.
Mm.
And so now we are getting the nutrients, people who are following the right practices. And then from food itself, you get your full nutrition. You don't
Mm.
need to do a supplements industry.
Yeah.
So overall, this was kind of, giving a picture about, the business of sickness and healing. Every deficiency, every mistake that we make in natural systems and natural law, that manifests as some illness.
Mm.
Okay. Now, the amount of water purifiers and all that are there in the market. Everybody is minting millions across it.
Mm.
But the simple thing is, you should have been getting groundwater that's flowing from brooks and streams and well water, and that is the real water. In some of my lectures, I've explained the 5 living properties of water.
Mm.
And then when you get your municipality water, I
Mm.
call it dead water because it doesn't have any of these 5 properties.
Mm.
Okay, one is the enough adequate minerals. You're getting TDS of 9 and 10 in your municipality water. That's horrible, so low. You're not getting the microbiome. It's not microclustered. It's not got electrical charge, all of that.
Mm.
So yeah, that's unfortunately what's happening in the world today.
Yeah.
And that's why I advocate all of this, that people go back to the natural ways of living. They go to
Mm.
the ancestral village, they start, walking bare feet, having this natural water and all of that. We have
Mm.
got to get back to natural systems. We are following too many unnatural systems. And to maintain those unnatural systems, we are taking off a lot of non-renewable resources from the earth.
Mm.
So this bigger problem is there in our network. We have EarthKeepers Connect.
Mm.
Anybody can visit our website, earthkeepersconnect.org, and then
Yeah.
you will see our video, Making New Earth.
Hmm.
There, in that first 2 hours of the video, we have explained all the wrong science and tech that has caused all the sickness and environmental destruction across the
Yeah.
world. And the next 2 hours is how we are correcting all those problems with putting
Hmm.
the right green sciences by moving from a centralized system to a decentralized system where people operate, and how people create their own healthy water, natural food, natural body products, natural medicine system, green jobs. Why should we work in any job? And that's why I gave up industrial engineering. Why should we work in any job that is contributing to sickness of other people on the planet or to environmental destruction? When we have a better choice and we can work, so every day I work now, it is the health of people are getting better, the soil is getting better, the environment is getting better for the little contribution of work that I do and whatever I teach. So I try to help people understand that there's a choice that they can make and change this. If they are the people talking about future of our children, if they are the people talking about a better society, if they are talking of if we are evolving, if they are talking about we are ascending and this is new age is coming. So we have to do the right practices and bring it about, not just talk of it, in the air and pray for it.
Right.
Because, all these angels are not going to come and do natural farming for us, for example.
Yeah. So, like people are starting to understand the need to connect back to our roots and natural living systems, but still, in the media and commercial aspect of healing and everything, like we're still seeing a sort of inclination towards supplements and technology, how that can improve food and nutrition. So like the people who are heading these movements or companies, don't you think that they probably have a different sort of driving principle? Like probably they don't resonate with this concept of connecting back with mother nature and natural living systems. Like what do you think is the thing there, like the driving principles for these people?
So in Indian terms, I'll use it in one straight line. पैसे के लिए कुछ भी करेगा.
Hmm.
Okay, so the problem is the system that is designed in a certain way that you can
Hmm.
only survive and become prosperous if you make this thing called money more and
Yeah.
more. Okay, so what is happening? How they make more money?
Hmm.
So now, what we talk of a self-sufficient village, right? There are
Hmm.
people, let's say there are 100 families in a particular area. Now,
Hmm.
what do all the 100 families need?
Hmm.
They need water. If they are there in the countryside, then there is some water wherever. They will draw it out of the well or take it from the river.
Yeah.
So the 100 families need water. They need food on a regular base, every day basis. They need clothes. They need natural medicine. They
Hmm.
need houses to stay. Okay.
Hmm.
And then there's some free time. They have some arts and culture. They need to teach their children how
Yeah.
to grow up and what are the things to be done.
Hmm.
Now, so among 100 of those families,
Hmm.
if 40 families are taking care of doing the organic farming and all of that, from the
Yeah.
farming, some of them are herbs. From there, you make the natural medicine, you make your natural hair oil, soap nuts, you make your soap and whatnot. So
Hmm.
let's say 40 of those families will do the farming and all of that. Then
Yeah.
10 of those families will do the natural body products. Then 10 of the families will make the clothes and all of that. 10 of the
Yeah.
families will do the woodworks, and 10 of the families will do the houses and all,
Hmm.
making building of houses. So
Hmm.
actually, society is just a give and take amongst people. And
Hmm.
if you're living on a land, there's another principle that I teach, which is all sciences are local, which means that if I'm living in Goa, the biodiversity of Goa is fixed. What is the season, what are the temperature, what are all the plants, herbs, and all that will grow season to season. So the
Hmm.
food system is local. From the
Hmm.
food system and the medicinal herbs that will grow here, your medicine system also becomes local.
Hmm.
What is the soil, how much clay is there, which are the red laterite stones are available in Goa, and then from that your natural homes are made. Coconut
Hmm.
trees there, so that you use for the members on top. Then you do mangrove tiles and all of that.
Hmm.
So your food system, your health system, your living system, what chairs and all, what you make, out of this uh, which wood and all is local to your place. I've got these, traditional chairs over here, which you can see so well crafted and all of that, right?
Yeah.
These chairs
Hmm.
are over 120 years old,
Hmm.
you see. So and it's made without a single metal screw. The
Oh.
screws are also conical shaped
Hmm.
wedges, right?
Hmm.
So everything can be made locally. So then finally, so this is what society is. All
Hmm.
sciences are local and it's a give and take amongst people. And if
Hmm.
you will use the natural materials, you are with natural law and natural things.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what is anybody outside your village going to benefit from you, right?
Hmm.
You're self-sufficient, so you don't need anything from them. So
Hmm.
now what happens is that some external person will come and say that, now we say tomatoes is it will not grow properly in the rains. It is a dry, arid zone, vegetable. It's like a berry. So it'll grow better in the winter months, right?
Hmm.
So you're not supposed to eat it all year round
Hmm.
for your locality. So now somebody will come and say that I will give you tomato in a can.
Hmm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
because of that, you'll be able to eat tomatoes every year round. But
Hmm.
now they will have to put the preservative chemicals in the can, which is against natural decomposition, which is against the digestion capacity of the body. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so now you got something that's going to cause a health problem. But they have
Hmm.
told you that you can have tomato all year round. You've forgotten the traditional sciences that tomatoes are supposed to be eaten during some times of the year. Okay,
Yeah.
not every day of the year.
Hmm.
So now what has happened that they will keep on supplying their tomatoes and then you'll have ketchup and whatnot. And slowly your local farmers, their
Hmm.
tomatoes are not getting sold. So they'll make lesser and lesser. And at one
Hmm.
point of time, there's hardly 10% of production of tomatoes where there was 100% earlier and everything is going out.
Yeah.
So now what happens? Those people start getting the money. So
Hmm.
like this, various of our foods have been replaced. Our clothes are from outside. What we use in the house is from outside.
Hmm.
So these are the people who are just wanting to, and then they finally, all of these people and these companies and companies above companies and all that, it's a big, very centralized system with
Yeah.
people controlling finance and, being bosses. Their
Hmm.
final, those people's aim and cunningness, it's a very
Hmm.
cunning business.
Hmm.
Their goal is that they and their families and all never have to do farming. They never
Hmm.
have to draw water out of the well. They never have to grow a cotton plant, harvest the cotton, then weave it, then make clothes of it, then
Hmm.
cut the clothes, then stitch the clothes and all. They are people who don't want to do any labor. They just want to sit somewhere and sign checks. Nowadays, signing checks is also not there. You just press a button and the transfer gets done for how much ever money from here to there.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is what is going on in society where people have got into this loop of
Hmm.
saying that we don't want to do any natural work, we don't want to give and take our share in society. And
Hmm.
in this society also where you have this village, right, which is
Hmm.
self-sufficient,
Hmm.
there's not much scope of rich and poor.
Yeah.
You see, the cobbler is as respected as the farmer, and the same respect goes to the person who's baking the tiles for the home or the
Hmm.
person who's stitching the garment.
Hmm.
So now this whole Western model and what we say from these capitalists that were made, they're mainly people who
Hmm.
wanted to do nothing and just run on money and
Hmm.
create this entire pyramid of laborers and then managers and their bosses and company owners and then the financial giants of the world.
Hmm.
So, so this in this effort, all of this commercialization has happened.
Hmm.
So now we're going back to the village because why? What you harvest today
Hmm.
morning, 6:30 to
Hmm.
7:30, should be on your plate at 8
Hmm.
o'clock for breakfast. That's what
Hmm.
I live now and
Hmm.
lunch. So if you have this system, there's no need of processed, packaged, and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So you have better health. Here they're giving you sickness, and other people are making money of it.
Hmm.
So basically, this is the overall model that's running in the world. And the
Yeah.
only way to break it, you see, this is you can't break it because all laws are there to protect, Procter and Gamble and this one, that one, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. FMCG and all, the laws are put in place. The
Hmm.
only thing is it's a two-prong approach. You're not trying to do something deliberately to damage somebody's business. But if you're smart, you will try to save your own health first and stop eating all these processed foods,
Hmm.
non-seasonal foods,
Hmm.
and foods that are what we call, whole foods. That is what we should be eating as all other species on the planet are eating, and they don't have high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, infertility, and all that.
Yeah.
So a lot of my sciences I compare with other species on the planets that are closer to us.
Hmm.
Sometimes I compare with plants and whatnot. But
Hmm.
those are natural living sciences. They are not what I call the fake sciences that are devised in certain laboratories and all of that. which is a
Mm.
very artificial environment. I teach
Mm.
living sciences, and the same thing in my book. Whatever
Yeah.
I speak as science or a principle, I point out to my book or through other lectures. See, it's operating in nature. It's a natural
Mm.
principle.
Mm.
Now, no university can say that this is not working this way.
Mm.
Okay. But in universities, you will get theories and all this theory, that theory. And as per this theory, this is the nutrition model. As per that theory, this is the medicine that should be done.
Mm.
So it's a very complicated and messed up thing. And this is going to be the case more and more as people make more and more cities and these smart cities and all. It is basically people who have made the centralized deceptive system. It is their science and tech to run this kind of operation.
Mm.
So finally, in our community, now I'm also doing a community in Goa over 20 acres. We'll be starting to go on the land in March.
Mm.
And there are a few other communities across this country just started and all that.
Yeah.
Um, there, when we had some deeper discussions about
Mm.
the need for how much electricity and internet also,
Mm.
we finally realized we don't need internet at all
Mm.
because we go and make the community, which what we call as a knowledge complete team.
Mm.
So we have all the people, doctors, healers, therapists, natural home builders, landscapers, water people, soil people, home people, fabric people, everything.
Mm.
So then we don't need knowledge from here. All sciences are local. So it's no point in researching what's happening in China, how they are growing certain thing in China, what they're doing
Mm.
in some other place in Korea or some other place that is not close to our environment, right?
Mm.
So then we said, now actually in the internet also, I speak about this lately since the last 1 year.
Mm.
Internet is being used as an instrument for
Mm.
divide and rule.
Yeah.
Just like religion has been used to divide and rule people, okay,
Mm.
we all know deeper inside that what we're talking about, God is just one energy that's everywhere and everything. We know that subconsciously.
Mm.
But because we need to conform to some standard and all that and be accepted in a certain class of society, we will say, no, God is a man. Somebody will say God is a woman. Somebody will say, no, God is, many other things. So
Mm.
like that, divide and rule, that's why we're going to war now on the
Mm.
different ideologies and all of that.
Yeah.
And then internet also is like that. Okay. You ask what is the nutritional model? There are people ready to fight for 2, 3 hours in a conference room over 12 different nutritional models. Okay. So now we have realized and become smart that internet has been designed for a misinformation system also.
Mm.
So there are two counts now, right? We don't want too much of this misinformation. And
Mm.
with the knowledge complete team, we know all sciences are local. We can do and design our lives and design our future for the next few thousand years and all. There's no deficiency in that.
Mm.
So that's how we are progressing too. And then people said, how will you give me this? How will you give that? So then we say we will give you the bottom line what you want. Whatever you're doing in the city, finally, you want healthy food, healthy water, healthy some free time, arts, crafts. Now you don't get time in the city for all these things,
Mm.
right? Arts, culture, and local festivals and all of that.
Yeah.
So finally, when we showed the people the route to getting everything they want in life in a natural way without
Mm.
internet, only then they realized, oh gosh, we can do without the internet.
Mm.
Then only one reason came for the internet to be there. And we said, okay, in our community, we'll have one terminal over there
Mm.
or two terminals in the you know logistics department or house. Uh, and that only valid reason was I would like to talk to my relative who's in another country on
Mm.
voice chat.
Mm.
Besides that, nobody could find any use of the internet.
Mm.
So this is how we have to design our future, where we have to get the bottom line that we want in life through various natural science and tech that is local to us. And we don't
Mm.
have to borrow things. We don't have to increase food miles. We don't have to increase miles of so much of, you know, boats, ships, planes, trains running all over the place, delivering Amazon things and all. That
Mm.
is, destroying this world, creating so much of pollution and all these vehicles to make them run. We are digging holes in the earth, doing mining, making the metal bodies, making tires. This is very destructive.
Mm.
And in our video Making New Earth, we've shown that the maximum destruction to health,
Mm.
to environment, garbage problem, digging holes in the earth is all
Mm.
coming majorly through the food system
Mm.
because human being needs to eat food 4 times a day.
Mm.
Now it depends from where that food is coming.
Mm.
If it's coming from your local community, then your food miles are like close to zero.
Mm.
But if you are a city person ordering food from all across the world, you know,
Mm.
whatever chocolates are coming on Switzerland and whatnot. So
Hmm.
then every person is contributing to the destruction of all these resources and pollution and all of that.
Hmm.
So, so that video gives a very deep insight. I would watch like everybody to watch that video.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I would put that link of the video.
We also have a separate website for it now. It's
Hmm.
called makingnewearth.org.
Okay. Makingnewearth.org.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there is one interesting concept I saw in your book, that is you compared the like different types of animals like herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and you were trying to sort of discuss man as a frugivorous animal, right? So this is one concept that I also found in the book that is written by one of the very famous Kriya Yoga masters, Swami Yukteswar Giri. He has a
Yes.
book, Holy Science. In that,
Yes.
I had found this same thing, that he was trying to establish that man is a frugivorous animal through
Yes.
different comparisons. So, like, can you expand a bit on that? Like,
So, yeah, I will for quick access, this is in detail. It's a 2 hour lecture. It's on my YouTube channel.
yeah.
And the lecture is called Human Nature and
Hmm.
Human Food.
Hmm.
Okay. So there, I start with talking about that, there's a picture where I'm showing uh, there's a conference room where there are people discussing different nutritional models. I
Hmm.
mentioned some over there: paleo diet, vegan diet, then whatever keto diet, vegetarian, vegetarian, all of those diets. I said we give those people 1 2 hours to discuss, and after 1 2 hours, there's more and more confusion and more challenging each others, and there's no clarity. Then I show another slide
Yeah.
in which there are some animals just standing over there.
Hmm.
And then I just say, according to us, which is the most stupid animal from this entire lot? So people see a donkey over there and they say, yeah, the donkey is the most stupid animal. I say, no, no, donkey knows to eat what food is its food and what is not its food without a single lecture on nutrition.
Yeah.
And people realize, yes.
Hmm.
So I said, do you understand nutrition has got nothing to do with the mind and what you research in university?
Hmm.
Okay, then what is it? Then I take them into those questions, which is there in my TEDx talk.
Hmm.
Um, and now because people are reading and getting information and lessons and lectures from so many places, people are
Yeah.
saturated. Okay. You can't give them any more gyan. Even if you say it's going to like pouring water on a duck's back. Moment you say 2 lines, they said, but here I've read this, but that this says this, but this ancient text says this.
Hmm.
So then in this lecture of the video that I shared now,
Yeah.
I'm not telling people anything.
Hmm.
I'm only asking people some questions. And whether it's 3 people or 30 people or 300 or 3,000, the people give the same answer. So then I will just give an example now. So what is this living science?
Yeah.
And that those questions we first work on what is food for human beings and what is not. Then the second level we work on when you are sick, there are certain foods you should eat, certain foods you should not eat. That's called transition foods till you're healthy. And finally, when you're healthy, you have to eat as per your body type, which is, the dosha type, kapha, pitta, vayu. That's the fine tuning. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, you will eat as per your locality where you live, organic, local, seasonal, whole foods.
Hmm.
So, then they said, how come people are, going to give the same answer? We are very individual people and we know what our bodies tell us and all. So I said, when you ask
Hmm.
the right questions, then you get the right answers. So I give an example of
Hmm.
one, it happened outside, just here only in outside my house. Many generations of dogs I've seen here since I came in 2010. So I'm just giving an example. There's a female dog who has littered certain puppies, like let's say there are 8 puppies. And then, so who's taking care of the dog and breastfeeding them? The mother, right?
Hmm.
Who's the father? People already know who's the father. They have to see the color of the puppy and then we decide, okay, that must be the father. Because father is
Hmm.
not around taking care of them, managing them, building a
Hmm.
house or anything. He's doing his job, managing his
Yeah.
territory. So these are street dogs I'm talking about. So we got about
Hmm.
15, 18. You have to figure out like that only. So the mother's breastfeeding the puppies. Initially, they are all closed eyes for the first week. Then they open their eyes, and then they're growing a bit. After 15 days or something, 20 days, a car comes and hits the mother. She dies. Now, those eight puppies, if people are not going to take care of them, they are left to their own. After you see about 6 months, six of the eight puppies are dead. They all died of starvation. Two are left. And they are like, 5, 6 months old.
Yeah.
Now you'll see, because they're eating a lot of street food and all that, you will see they're getting stomach upset. Then one puppy, I saw that he's, vomiting out that food and then sitting quietly. After a few hours, he's coming into my garden that's growing extra, eating little lemongrass leaves. Then he's going into the bushes and eating other one, two herbs. And they're all smelling it. He's smelling it and eating it. Okay. So this is the medicine for an upset stomach. Okay. So then after eating that, the puppy is not trying to eat any other food. It is sitting quietly. And that whole day goes. Next morning, the puppy seems everything okay. It's running around looking for food and it starts eating whatever it can. So now the question is, who taught this puppy the science? Who taught the puppy the science of fasting? Who taught the puppy the science of which are the herbs to be eaten? Who taught the puppy to wait and let the herbs do their medicine thing? And then next day you can eat. There was nobody who taught the puppy. This science is in the DNA of not only that puppy and that dog of breed, it is there in that breed from the first time that breed was here on this planet. So now I ask people, how old are human beings and other things around here? Doing simple Google search, you'll get like 6,000 years old. So I asked the question, then this science, does it predate Ayurveda, which is 4,500 years old?
Yeah.
People say yes. So I said, okay, then tell me one more thing. What was the need for Ayurvedic herbs to correct this problem to that problem and all? Does it mean that there were some sick people 4,500 years back? The answer is yes. Yogis wouldn't have just made everybody's healthy in society. What to make herbs for digestion, herbs for, concoctions for detoxifying your blood and whatnot. So we were making mistakes before 4,500 years. Okay. So now I'm just giving the example of this puppy. What biological process actually happened? When it got stomach infections, signals from the stomach lining went to the brain. The brain, for that period of time, till the signals stop, it sensitizes the nose and the tongue to smell certain herbs. Now, certain herbs will smell nice, that I must eat this now.
Yeah.
And it must taste like this. That's the sign the DNA gives. When the puppy goes and eats those 2, 3 herbs, then those herbs go inside. They're the herbs that kill those germs. And when the germs die, then their signals and the inflammation in the intestine is not there. So the signals don't come to the brain. So now the sensitivity for that smell of those herbs are gone. Because you don't see the puppy eating the lemongrass and all every day of its life. It's not its food. Puppy knows.
Yeah.
So all this science is in the DNA. So that's why I tell people, what you have studied, research in college and all, that's a lot of modern science by these people who took us from the land and put us in the city and gave us a lot of fake things. Fake things means they're only things that will serve this industry. You are taught the science, how to eat supplements, how to eat canned tomatoes, how to eat processed smoked chicken, and all that nonsense happens in the city. So these are all business. You are participating in a business for the profit of some other people. You have lost the sciences of how to participate in your business, which is keeping your health good and your community safe and wealthy. So now we have to get, and so I teach these more things. So that question is about that, right? The questions in this talk is those simple questions. And when you ask, so if you put all the puppies of that breed or other puppies also, even the cats, you are going and seeing them eating herbs when they get stomach upset, right? So then your answer will be that when I will ask this puppy of this breed all over the world, will it do this thing? You will say yes. All of them will do the same thing. So that's how, whether it is 3,000 people or 3 million people in these questions that I've asked, all human beings give the same, because it's coming from their DNA.
Yeah.
So then it turns out in that experiment, it turns out as people give their natural answers, they say that fruits are the most, and I put a principle there. These are natural principles, which are not the principles in your nutritional college. So one principle, I said that anybody on this planet, even Einstein or whoever the most intelligent person is, try and defy this principle. Now I've put a principle that God has given every living being on this planet who eats food.
Hmm.
God has given food to them on a regular basis, and that food is 100% natural, meaning it is raw.
Yeah.
It is not cooked. No other species on this planet cooks food. Now, is that a
Hmm.
fact or it's not a fact?
Hmm.
Then all 8 billion people on this planet have to say, yes, it's a fact.
Hmm.
And by mistake, if God had forgotten to give food to some species,
Hmm.
they all are extinct long time back.
Hmm.
So we are talking of reality now. So it's a living principle. This is what I call living science.
Hmm.
So we start that experiment with that. Okay, if I place everything raw in front of you, even the chicken
Hmm.
is a live chicken, even the fish is swimming in the bowl, the bananas and the mangoes, they are raw. The wheat and rice is raw, dal rajma is raw, broccoli is
Hmm.
raw, the palak is raw. Then
Hmm.
what is your first preference of food?
Yeah.
All human beings saying they are the most tasty in this, whatever your favorite fruit is. If it's
Hmm.
chiku, then you'll say, yeah, chiku is better than
Hmm.
eating raw rice and wheat. So
Yeah.
that experiment takes people into this. And
Hmm.
after people, so I say, if I take out all the fruits, now
Hmm.
what will be your next choice of tasty food? They say,
Hmm.
yeah, carrot, cucumber, tomato. There are some tasty vegetables.
Yeah.
Then I say, okay, now you let's take out the tasty vegetables. Now what you'll eat?
Hmm.
They will say, what to eat now? There is raw broccoli. There is, raw, let's say, rich gourd or pumpkin and all of that. Then there's
Hmm.
rice and wheat and all that. So I
Hmm.
said, okay, you're not given the option of cooking and you're very hungry.
Hmm.
Then you go and eat dry rajma and dal grains, or you will try and eat little bit broccoli. They
Hmm.
said, yeah, there's no other option. I'll try and eat little broccoli.
Hmm.
So through this only, people only build up the food pyramid. Then you come to understand which are the basic food, which is the second, which is the third food. And then you realize that raw meats, though we can't eat.
Hmm.
Then anybody said, no, I eat meat. Then I give them one raw chicken leg with all the hair and all of that. I say, go eat and show me now. Right? Even if you try and bite it and all of that, it gets stuck. You're not able to chew it. You're able to bite
Yeah.
meat only when it's cooked. When it's raw, you can't bite it. It
Hmm.
doesn't break into the strand. They all get stuck in your teeth and you get indigestion. So
Hmm.
that the cat and the dog can eat. In that same experiment, we
Hmm.
bring the person's cat and dog. Cat and dog doesn't go and eat mango and banana and all. They will go and eat the fish or the meat and all. So
Hmm.
this is the test not only for human beings, it's for every species on the planet.
Yeah.
This is how I'm trying to use this route more now. For
Hmm.
any question that people have, I ask them a question in return. They will ask me what is the purpose
Hmm.
of life. Then I will ask some
Hmm.
basic things first. And then everybody within
Hmm.
1 2 hours, they will understand, okay, more or less, purpose of life of human beings is this overall. But at a
Hmm.
detailed level, each of us is an individual, each of us is having a certain skill and affinity to certain things. So somebody
Hmm.
gets into the line of teaching, somebody gets into the line of farming and whatnot. Those
Hmm.
are things in between that you do to barter in community, so you get your food and all of that, right?
Hmm.
So otherwise, many things come out of it. So this is just one example about food. Then we go into life skills. What should I take up as a line of work? Then only I will ask questions. So I
Yeah.
found that to be the best method when
Hmm.
people are already overloaded with too much
Hmm.
of misinformation and they're saturated. You can't tell them anything more. So now you
Yeah.
ask them questions only, and
Hmm.
it'll come from their DNA from the first time human beings came on this planet.
Hmm.
So this what I call is a restoration to natural law.
Okay.
And what I say about natural law, is natural law the same for Earth as for Moon,
Hmm.
for Mars, for Venus? Is it the same? What is nature on Earth? There's
Hmm.
certain amount of salt water. There's certain amount of fresh water. There are glaciers. There's one sun, one moon. There's certain soil, certain percentage of oxygen, nitrogen in the air, and all of that.
Hmm.
Trees are there. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is nature for Earth.
Hmm.
Right? The same thing does not apply on the moon.
Hmm.
Same thing does not apply in Jupiter. It does not apply on the sun. So, what is the law that is governing this entire cosmos? That is called universal law.
Yeah.
And I say that natural law is the way God, or you can call it creator, or you can call it nature.
Hmm.
As natural law is the way God participates on this planet through
Hmm.
various means. It's participating through me, it's participating through the tree, through the
Hmm.
sunlight, through the ant, everything.
Hmm.
So
mm,
when we go into that and we do ask some questions backward, suppose you don't,
mm,
you stop eating physical food.
mm,
And if you see the food pyramid, right, who's producing protein and carbohydrates and everything? It's
mm,
the plant kingdom.
mm,
So you stop, eating food. What happens to you? Your
mm,
physical body starts drying up and you're going to die.
mm,
So would it be right, scientifically a correct statement if I say human body is an output, it's a product of plants?
mm,
People say yes. Even those people who are non-vegetarian, I say are non-vegetarian animals, they are eating vegetarian animals, and those vegetarian animals are eating plants. So
mm.
the source of our body and the animals on the planet is plants. Is it yes or no?
Yeah.
People say yeah. Then
Mm,
I say, okay, how do plants make their body?
mm,
Then the question asks, they take soil, they take water. Then it turns
mm,
out they take earth, water, fire, air, space.
mm.
Some people will say, why plants need space? I said, have you seen a plant grow inside a rock? They say, no. Then space is required. Fine. So
Mm,
then from this reverse engineering, we go then, what is the earth, water, fire, air, space made of? What has made it?
mm,
And then we go
mm,
and we finally come into creation. And then you backward, you will understand that uh, natural law, the way it is on the planet, is how creator expresses itself in everything on this planet.
mm, mm.
So this is what, the awareness, and this is the commonality. You see, this is
Yeah.
the way in, if you go in this direction, people become one. They
Mm,
collaborate on natural law and natural science, which is common to all
yeah.
human beings on the planet. And more you go into this, more you will come away from the divisions of religion, of rich and poor, of internet,
Mm,
of science and tech, of artificial
mm,
intelligence. We don't need artificial intelligence. We have the intelligence, every human being. I can
mm,
prove it to every human being that you have the entire intelligence. For some people, it may take, 3, 4, 5 days or a whole week. But
mm,
by this method of questioning any human being, I can show them that you have the complete intelligence to do everything for the future of this planet for the next 12,000 years or
mm,
whatever our time cycles are. And you never need this artificial intelligence, which is basically parasiting and feeding off you, trying to
mm,
interpret what you are. But
mm,
what you are is an amazing being that
mm,
even though now, even though certain people have not asked you certain questions till date in your life, when they ask you that question tomorrow, and that is
mm,
first time poised to you, and you think from natural law, you will give an answer that has never been given on this planet before. I'm saying this is what we really are, and we're far ahead of artificial intelligence. Okay.
yeah.
So this
Mm,
is the guidance, to people that there's no need to depend on artificial intelligence and robots. When we are the true
mm,
evolving consciousness that has complete knowledge of
mm,
everything right from the time we are on this planet. We have all the living
mm,
signs. So we don't need help from robots
mm,
made by the same capitalists who are again trying to control all the things that we do. They are parasitic people. We are supposed to live life in a natural way. They manipulate us, do this, do that, and then they parasite of us and activities, and they make us live in these cities where we've literally become slaves.
yeah. Mm. Yeah, wonderfully put. Everything that you sort of explained from the creation point of view to plants, animal kingdom, the food habits, and how these capitalists and the companies out there are shaping these ecosystems and we are stuck in them, and how individually we as people can take some calculated risk and action for our own benefit. And like you said, that the internet and all these ideological warfare that is happening, it just sort of restricts that process of coming together and forming something which is much more harmonious. But getting back to our roots, connecting with nature, understanding how all the processes are interlinked, I think this helps in bringing a sense of togetherness and harmony. And like with the content that you have in the Earthkeepers Connect and your own website of all the workshops you host and programs, I think people will get a good idea of how these things work. So, is Earthkeepers Connect the website that people can find your content?
Yeah, my main website where you'll
Yeah.
find all my websites is my name,
Mm.
darryldesouza.com.
Yeah.
Over there, you will find the earthkeepersconnect.org website
Mm.
and the New
Mm.
Earth Summit also that we do every year, which is the
Mm.
education platform. It's become like an online university now. with solutions from experts in
Yeah.
food, farming, environment. We do it every year.
Hmm.
And we started it in 2019. So it's been 6 years and, 10 topics in wellness of mind, body, spirit, 10 in food and farming, 10 in environment. So there are
Hmm.
about 180 videos now. Anybody who
Okay.
wants to learn how to improve their health, how to do organic farming, how to build natural homes, how to do rainwater harvesting, right?
Hmm.
Can watch all of those things. Those are all the sciences to build a holistic, green community.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yes, the other thing I wanted to share is
Yeah.
in a line that you spoke now, you said that, people can take calculated risks,
Yeah.
to this. And what I want to share is that, yeah, it's the general perception from people who have been in the city. Now, I was
Hmm.
also kind of born in the city only in Mumbai.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so right from our birth time, we are in that environment only. We think that is the world.
Hmm.
And so now that is known, what we know, and the village becomes unknown.
Hmm.
So that's why the statement will come from all city people. We have to
Yeah.
take a calculated risk by going to the village.
Hmm.
But what I'm sharing is that what we're trying to implement there is
Hmm.
no new science and tech. It
Hmm.
is no new trial. This was
Hmm.
going on since 6,000 years.
Hmm.
And these are the most simpler, organic, natural things to be done. If you see
Hmm.
all the indigenous communities across the world, they were implementing all these sciences. Even in India, it's going on for some thousand years. These new systems, they only started, first industrial revolution started in 1750, second industrial revolution, 1850, third industrial revolution, 1950. And
Hmm.
that has done so much destruction to the world. And now this World Economic F people and all, they are
Hmm.
bringing in fourth industrial revolution to destroy whatever else is left. So, which is, of course, the most disastrous thing.
Hmm.
And yeah, so what we are doing has already been done. It is 100% proven. We're just bringing back the natural sciences, which are in line with the sciences of your land and the sciences of your health, right? That's easier to do.
Yeah.
Everybody who will watch our video Making New Earth will understand that city life is the most complicated thing with many, many layers. Okay. And the natural life where you can have more beauty, more free time and everything
Yeah.
is just one, two layers only. Very simple to do.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I've done since 2010. Okay, I've unplugged myself, what we call from the matrix, and I
Hmm.
stopped from that time, contributing to sickness and destruction of environment on the globe as an industrial engineer.
Hmm.
And now I've come into a very holistic thing where, so we can all do that. We can
Yeah.
all do jobs that improve the health of people, improve
Hmm.
the environment, improve the local abundance, which is
Hmm.
the local economy,
Yeah.
and become prosperous again. And we are the people who can erase that rich and poor thing in
Hmm.
this self-sufficient societies. No government can do it.
Yeah.
Governments have only made the problem worse
Hmm.
by, listening. The MPs are just passing and listening to all the projects of the capitalists, which are
Yeah.
designed to make rich and poor.
Hmm. So, do you take any personal consultations, Darren?
I was doing that till 2 years back, but now
Yeah.
because I stopped doing that because my time is going so much in these system designs and now forming committees on health, food, farming, environment in every city of this country. So
Hmm.
getting, the right kind of people, discussions, meetings. Every
Yeah.
evening we have a 6 p.m. meeting on Zoom. So my time is fully going in that. So I'm not able to take out, time and do for individuals. But on
Yeah.
my health website, I have about 11 online workshops that people
Yeah.
can do at their own time. That's
Hmm.
becomehealthierexting.com is my health website. Its link is on my main website,
Hmm.
darryldisouza.com.
Yeah.
So people can go in
Yeah.
there, they can pay the fee and they can do it anytime. It's a audio video,
Hmm.
this 3-hour programs. And then that's for specific illnesses, like for all the illnesses related to cough, cold, lung congestion, sinusitis, bronchial asthma, everything that's taken care in one workshop. Then
Yeah.
one workshop of hormonal imbalance,
Hmm.
infertility,
Hmm.
PCOD, fibroids, facial
Hmm.
hair growth, everything
Hmm.
with hormonal imbalance, that's done in one workshop. Then one workshop is all for
Okay.
bone and joint problems and all. So those are
Hmm.
3 hour workshops. And then there's a master
Yeah.
workshop, which is 20 hours, which teaches all these things together.
Hmm.
So people can
Yeah.
join those workshops at any time of their own. They can, watch the presentations, my videos, talk, practice all those
Hmm.
things. and it's
Yeah.
about they all teach disease reversal.
Yeah. So wonderful insights, Daryl, you have given today with the overall integrated health approach from the physical, metaphysical aspects to farming, understanding the overall ecosystems, how they are designed worldwide and in our local areas, and how sort of we can, as people, connect and with nature and try to take a different route to what we are already accustomed to, and sort of we can say changes in our own health and in our own communities. So, like, thank you, Darren, for joining the conversation. Got
Yes.
to learn a lot from your insights, and I hope that people do check Darrell's website, that is darrelldSouza.com, where you can find all of Darrell's workshops, his writings, his seminars, and also connect with the Earth Keepers Connect, where throughout India people are engaged in that, bringing a holistic change. And also, Darrell, is your book available on Amazon?
The old version is there on Amazon, and
Okay.
now I'm working on the new edition. It should come out in April. It's got 5
Mhm.
additional chapters. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, if anybody checks my becomehealthierextinct.com in the
Mm.
first week of April, then it
Yeah.
should have the new edition.
Okay.
So the
So
PDF on
yeah,
the website is a free download. And then,
yeah,
of course, for printed copies and all, people can order from that website itself and
yeah,
printed copies. Yeah. Last time the price was 400 per copy. I hope I can maintain that price this time also.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So wonderful having you,
Yes.
Daryl, having this
Thank,
conversation. I'll be putting links of Daryl's works on the website and the YouTube channel, and people can check it out and all the things that he is doing. And hopefully, you keep continuing doing the great work you are doing. Looking forward to all the changes you are trying to bring.
yes. Thank you for those good wishes, Sanmitra. It's wonderful to yeah, be interviewed by you and share all of this with your audiences.
Yeah,
And I'm finally trying to just sum it up by saying that
yeah,
this is a movement where we are trying to return to what we truly are
mm,
and what Mother Nature is truly in her abundance and her natural way
mm,
of living, right,
mm,
and being with us. If we do this collaboration, then we have a great future.
yeah,
And if we are in that direction, then we erase out this fake notion of end time prophecies that are going on right now.
mm,
So it's as you'll watch our video Making New Earth, you will see that so many of these systems,
mm,
right, have been enabled through our participation.
yeah,
How did drug mafia, or let's say, if this allopathic mafia or petrol mafia, why they are so powerful in the world?
mm,
Because we have taken that car, we have filled the petrol and diesel, we have decided we want a job which is 1 hour driving up and down. Okay, so it's through our participation that all of this happens. And when you see our design of holistic, community, you can
yeah,
go and transform your existing, ancestral village also to this. You can go and make a new village also. In that, you will see to get to work, you just need to walk for 10-15 minutes, which is a good exercise in the day. You don't need a
mm,
car, you don't need to burn petrol, fuel, diesel, and all of that.
mm,
So basically, overall, it is taking our time, attention, our labor, our participation, and our money from
mm,
destructive systems and putting them locally into non-destructive, healthy environmental and health systems. Okay,
yeah,
so that is the thing. It's a participation. So
yeah,
that's why I invite every person who wants a better future. You have to
mm,
participate in this kind of system, then you will have a future.
yeah. Yeah, wonderfully put. This can be a footnote every listener can take from this conversation. So, thanks everyone for watching and stay tuned for the next podcast. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Samitra. Yeah, best wishes to all your audience.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Thank you.